What's good, people? Welcome back to another episode on my channel. If you are new here, welcome. We're glad to have you with us. So today we're going to be talking about 10 amazing reasons why Ethereum could smash to $10,000 in this altcoin season that we're in. I believe the altcoin season is just beginning, so definitely stay tuned for this information load. Before we get into the information for today, make sure you smash that like button because this is going to be very, very valuable. So without further ado, this is brought to you by the one and only Spencer Noon. So he's the creator of our network. He published this article and I'm basically going to dissect it for you. So getting into this first point today, Ethereum generated the most revenue from network fees out of any other cryptocurrency. If you look at this chart right here, you can see the one-day fees generated by Ethereum was over $18 million. And if you compare this to Bitcoin, we're sitting at 7 million, which is just a little bit under half. So just to give you more perspective, this is a chart that basically details the transaction volume and fees. So transaction fees in the blockchain world is basically revenue. And if you compare it to a company, for example, you can kind of see how this number looks. It's very staggering. So the transaction volume overall between January and today that we are talking was over $713 billion. Very huge. Compared to 2020, we saw a 2,000% increase. So that goes to show you how much volume is really exploding in this space and to come over time. And as you see, the transaction fees here sitting at $1.69 billion, surged over 20,000%. Very huge numbers in growth. So we're not going to get too deep into that because we have a lot more other points to talk about. But anyway, as you can see, the revenue here is very high, meaning there's a lot of transactions going on and there's a lot of pressure and bubbling going on in the Ethereum network that is ready for explosion. So getting on to number two, Ethereum settles over $30 billion worth of value every day. When you compare it to PayPal, which is the biggest centralized payment processing system we have in the United States and globally, you can see they settle $2.5 billion daily, which is very tiny compared to Ethereum. And when you think of Ethereum only being here a couple years, you can think of how much value this is going to have in time as time continues to move. So don't take my word, take the numbers for account. So today, number three, we're talking about the number of wallets that are now active on Ethereum's network. So the daily active addresses climbed to 625,000. Huge. If you can look at the spike after March here, you can see this uptick in the chart of the line. You can see that uptick is very steep. I'm going to point out and say 625,000 daily active users for any platform that's grown in a matter of 1 year, doubling is very insane. So definitely keep this in mind. Moving on to number four, one of the most exciting things I like to talk about, which is the decentralized finance space and basically having $65 billion locked in it. This brings a lot of different projects that are basically changing the game when it comes to how the financial system works. So let's get deeper into what is DeFi actually. If you are not aware, decentralized finance is basically just an umbrella for a lot of financial applications in cryptocurrency that is disrupting the current financial landscape. So for example, if you're trying to make a transaction, let's say we have Visa, we have PayPal, and we are at a coffee shop. There's always a financial institution that sits between you and the business, your credit card company, for example, and they have the authority to stop, pause, or record in their own private ledger what your transaction happens to be. With Bitcoin, institutions are basically cut out the picture, and that was the point of having that. Decentralized finance takes it to a whole nother ballgame, which makes it an open space. So you can think of decentralized exchanges, which is basically a way for people to trade directly with each other without an intermediary person touching the money. So Coinbase, Binance, those platforms basically are going to be getting disrupted. Let's talk about stablecoins. Stablecoins, this is Tether, this is USD coin. These are the coins that are tied to your actual fiat, keeping a stable price. We're talking lending platforms. So now think about credit card companies in the world, loans, lenders, mortgages, those sort of things. So lending platforms are starting to get introduced into the crypto world, which is going to be very huge. Imagine buying a house with a mortgage that was based off of the cryptocurrency world, powered by Ethereum. Moving on to wrapped Bitcoin. So it's a way to send Bitcoins and prediction markets. So gambling, betting, predictions are very, very huge in social culture. So that's going to be also huge. I don't want to get too deep into the actuals when it comes to decentralized finance, but you can get a picture of how huge and hot this is going to be in the future. So definitely keep that point in mind. Moving on to the next point, we just talked about stablecoins. So they have over $50 billion in outstanding stablecoin supply. So this is very huge because, as we know, the cryptocurrency world is very, very volatile, always swinging up and down. To give you a better picture, you can see Tether. Tether is a coin that is basically stable. So as you see here, it's $1. So it's a $1 to $1 transaction. If you hold a Tether coin, it's basically $1. As you can see, it just dropped down to 0.9998, but it usually fluctuates up and down between that dollar range. As you can see, it's back up to $1. So USD coin is another stable coin here. As you can see, again, $1. So those are stable coins. It's very, very necessary in this market that is very volatile in order to protect people and keep things stable. Number 6 point we're going to talk about today, again, is DeFi's decentralized exchange system. So as we see here, it is up $60 billion, which is very, very huge as a monthly volume, proving DeFi liquidity already rivals centralized finance in the cryptocurrency space. Again, as you see, Serum is one very, very exciting project coming out of Solana's network that we are not going to get too deep into today. But if you are interested, definitely subscribe to this channel because I'll be talking about Serum very, very soon. I also have a video with a friend of mine. He's an engineer at Coinbase, and he basically broke down why Serum is a great platform. So it's on my channel. Definitely go check that out if you're interested as well. Moving on to numero 7, we're going to talk about how Ethereum basically is becoming a vacuum for all assets, including Bitcoin. So today, as we talked about decentralized finance, but also they are bringing Bitcoin into the picture. So it's not rivaling Bitcoin in any fashion. Ethereum actually is a network that is just a vacuum, bringing every single thing with it. So let's talk about wrapped Bitcoin. So wrapped Bitcoin is a way of sending Bitcoin to the Ethereum network so the Bitcoin can be used directly in Ethereum's decentralized finance system. So as you can tell, we want to be able to interact with as many financial applications as possible. So we want dollars involved in the Ethereum network. We want Bitcoin involved in Ethereum's network as well because it's a valuable asset. Now, the next point I'm going to talk about today is NFTs. So NFTs are very, very huge. It's a part of social dilemma in the world that we live in today. Art, music, and a lot of other creative aspects are very, very valued. If you think about social media alone, the amount of social content that is put on there every single day, and the amount of money that Google, Facebook are worth in the terms of billions of dollars, you can think of how much value is actually in content and ownership of content. So definitely keep that in mind because NFTs are going to change the game when it comes to how content is created and how it is going to be transacting in our world. Moving on to the point number 9 that I have today, it is EIP 1559 upgrade. I made a video about that very, very recently. EIP 1559 is basically an upgrade for Ethereum's network that is going to change the game when it comes to Ethereum's functionality. So Ethereum currently is an inflationary asset, meaning Ethereum currently has no cap when it comes to how much coins can be created. What's going to change in the game for Ethereum is it's going to become a deflationary asset, meaning every single time Ethereum is being transacted through the network, and as you saw, the volume for Ethereum's transaction is very, very high. Billions and millions of Ethereum are going to be burned per transaction, meaning this is going to change how Ethereum will be valued over time. So the cap for Ethereum is infinite, but the amount of Ethereum every year that will be burned is going to be high enough to keep it a deflationary asset, making it almost as valuable, I would say, in the sense of how Bitcoin was created as an anti-inflation asset. I think it puts Ethereum on par with Bitcoin's anti-inflationary characteristic. So it looks like we were tricked on this article. Those were only 9 points. and I promised you all 10. So I'm going to give you my own personal number 10 reason I think it could go to 10,000. So looking here, you can see the dominance of the two cryptocurrency that are number 1 and 2 in the market. We see Bitcoin sitting at 40%, Ethereum sitting at 18.7%. So let's get into number 10. So the reason I think altcoin season barely just beginning as well, and why Ethereum is going to spark to 10,000. So as you can see here, in January of 2017, Bitcoin's dominance was at 85% and Ethereum was at 5.28. And then, fast forward a little bit down to around July 2017, Bitcoin's dominance was 37% and Ethereum's dominance was 31%. So let's look at today. Today we are sitting in May, which is not anywhere really close to July yet. So I think we still have a lot of time until the altcoin season really comes to wraps. As you see here, July is when things took a turn around, giving Bitcoin back its dominance. So I think we're going to see something quite similar, not exactly the same, but I think this is barely the beginning of the altcoin season. So I'm expecting to see something very, very close in terms of intersection of Bitcoin and Ethereum's dominance. So I would say Ethereum is about 10% away from reaching that point. So that is number 10 that I have for you all today. So we just spoke about 10 crazy reasons why Ethereum may reach $10,000 in terms of price. So where's that currently? That's about 3x away from where it's currently at. You gear up, it's going to be a bumpy ride. We don't know what's going to happen, but these are just some crazy numbers to kind of keep in mind, because numbers do not lie. Anybody can lie to you, but the numbers are true. The numbers are real. Anyway, it was your boy Elijah. If you like this video at all, make sure you smash that like button, because I'll be bringing you a lot more valuable content when it comes to cryptocurrencies that are on my radar, especially Ethereum, because I think it has very, very strong long-term value. If you're new again, make sure you subscribe to this channel, because I always talk about valuable cryptocurrencies on my channel, as well as investment ideas. Thank you for stopping by. It was your boy Elijah again. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Don't speak to no one but the facts to the mass.